Now I'll be discussing about the monitoring in a classroom. A teacher teaches its students and students learn. But how effective is the teaching? How this kind of monitoring happens in the class, both by the teacher as well as by the students? Because here there are two people, one is teacher, another is student, and between these two there is a learning by the student. So, how effective it can happen? A teacher comes to a classroom and there is a different feeling for students for different teachers. For some teachers, they feel happy that the teacher is coming and going to teach, and in some classes, they think it is very boring and they don't like the teacher. So, there could be two reasons for this situation. One is they don't like the teacher, the way they present the subject, and second, they don't like the subject, or they don't like the timing when it is being taught, or they don't like that particular lesson that they are teaching in that subject. So, there could be various other reasons when the children may not be happy to listen to a teacher, and the teacher also comes to the classroom in different moods. Probably they had a problem in their personal life, or they had a problem in the earlier classroom sessions. So they also come dressed up in different styles. This also matters a lot. A teacher dress, its color, the way they are wearing it, and their mannerisms, how they are entering into the classroom. Everything leaves an impression on the student and their learning. So the students being in that classroom, an environment where they sit, whether they sit in the front row or middle row or back row, it all matters. And when children sit with their other friends in the classroom, it also matters the kind of other student is like. And how to balance this whole environment so that the children can get the best out of the class and learn something. Therefore, one of the most important aspects is if a student is sleeping in the classroom, the first person to be blamed is the teacher. If the teaching is good, it is very rare that a student sleeps unless they are sick or they have some other problem. So it is the teacher who should make them alive and be learning actively and be participating in the session. So how do a teacher can create? A teacher should also look into the mood of the students while teaching. If they are happy and they are willing to learn, then the teacher can teach on that day more. And when the mood of the students is not so good, then on that day they could teach other relevant things lively so that students get engaged on that day, and the very next session they could participate better. And most often, a teacher can also be biased towards students. Many teachers like the students who are good at studies, are good at co-curricular activities, but teachers don't like those who are not good at anything. So they create a kind of bias against them. If they abuse in the class or if they punish in the class, this leaves a bad impression on that student. And also while teaching or giving priority ask a question, they always turn up to some of the bright students. That is also wrong. So some of the students having no eye contact with the teacher in the classroom, the teachers will avoid looking at them also. In those corners are free. The students can do whatever they can. This is also very wrong. A teacher should continuously look across the class and should establish an eye contact with every student. Then the students will be attentive and be listening. And while asking questions also, teacher could ask simple questions to those to encourage who are poor in studies and ask other questions to those who are brilliant. This way they could create a kind of balance in the classroom. And teaching is one way of giving the direction. It is not everything. The best teacher is the one who can motivate and guide a student towards the subject and make the student learn by himself or herself. And the student is the one who goes to a teacher for clarity and not for the subject as it is. So, this way, a student's learning by getting into the subject on their own, discovering the aspects of that subject, and learning more would benefit a student in the long run than those teachers who give ready made answers and ask the students to memorize everything and write on the paper during exams. So, this way, a student can get the top marks in the class, but he is never a seeker. A seeker of knowledge is the student. So, this seeking knowledge by the student is an important aspect the teacher should learn, and the teacher is one of the person who is having the highest profession in life, whereby they can create the great leaders of the earth or they can make their students something else. So, this potential of a teacher is a most honorable profession, and having already joined as a teacher, they should never regret. I was planning for something else in my life, but I got only this job as a teacher, so I am teaching. So, any teacher who regrets like that will not be a good teacher. This regret will make them, okay, I'm doing this job because I don't have other job. No. Once having chosen that profession, they should be dedicated and they should know their responsibility. And if there is a student who gets less marks in the class, the real teacher will be restless and probably may not sleep on that night. So, that is the dedication of a teacher. How to bring every student onto the common platform. It is not about the failure. The teacher should focus mostly and more on the students who are on the verge of failure. This is more important. Those who pass, it's okay, they can always have a bright future and they can go ahead. But those who are on the verge of failure, you should understand why they are so. Definitely, the efforts required are more for such students to bring them up onto the same platform with the bright students, but still, they have to put enough in bringing their child and making them pass and making them understand the subjects. And this way, a teacher will have more responsibility, and the job that they get, they should never think that it is granted and they can continue to do like that. A worst teacher is the one who would affect many students' lives into the future, and they may not love certain subjects in their life and they may not perform. So, this way, one should always look into the relationship between a teacher and a student and how the education system can be improved is an important aspect. Unless we have good teachers, we have good students. We will always get the bad society because we don't have good teachers. A teacher is the one not only gives education but discipline, skills, and the willingness to learn and other aspects. Thank you.